Are you looking to play one of the most underrated vanguards in the game? Well, let me tell you that you are in the exact right place. We're gonna be going over a complete guide for Venom today, as well as some tips and tricks. This guy is so good at diving in, taking care of the backline healers. He could even take on some duelists, and he is so good at taking over objectives and helping your team win. Like I said, Venom is extremely underrated, and you're definitely gonna wanna watch this guide and pick up Venom as one of your mains. But before we jump into this guide, if you're new here, hi, my name's Chris. I also go by Bootman, and I've been making a ton of Marvel Rivals content, little tips and tricks, guides, and some other types of content. So make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell, because that would be an amazing Christmas gift to me, and it doesn't cost you a penny. We are trying to hit 13,000 subscribers by the end of the year. A lot of you have already subscribed, you're new here, welcome, but we need to bring some more people into this family as we continue making Marvel Rivals content into 2025. All right, so in this guide, we're gonna go and break down each of his abilities. We're gonna go over playstyle tips and tricks, his strengths, and his weaknesses. First, let's talk about Venom's primary attack, Dark Predation. You shoot these tentacles out and it does a decent amount of damage. You can often one-on-one a lot of like switchier characters, like their healers or their duelists, and you got some range on this thing. So you're gonna get a little bit more range than somebody like Thor or Hulk who's doing their main attacks, and he's great for chasing people down, which we're gonna be talking about comboing with one of his different abilities in just 1 second. So his shift is Venom Swing. So if you're like me, a big Spider-Man fan, a big Venom fan, you know we love web slinging, and Venom can do that. This is going to be a key part of your combo. Venom's web sling is great for getting you around the map, because Venom, he's a big boy. A lot of people see Vanguards as these big chunky guys, but Venom can get in and out of fights really easily because of this web sling. Next up, we have Symbiotic Resilience. That is Venom's E ability, and this thing is going to annoy the heck out of everybody on the opposing team. This makes Venom not completely unkillable, but it makes him so tanky, okay? Once you pop this thing, you gain a lot of health, and you gain more health if you are lower on your health bar. So what you're gonna do is, once you get in there and you start taking some damage, you're gonna wanna wait until the last minute to pop your E. This is gonna take some practice, all right? They gave our guy Venom a 1-star rating, but he actually takes a bit of practice to start getting the timing down. I can tell you, I've been playing Venom since the betas, and like, if you're not timing this thing correctly, you will die, and you're gonna look like a fool because you're just standing in front of a bunch of enemies, and they're gonna be like, why are you just standing here not popping your Symbiotic Resilience? So make sure you practice, wait till the last second and start popping that thing. Next up is Venom's F ability, which is Frenzied Arrival. So this is his Venom Bomb, all right? You need a certain amount of height and you dive down. This stuns enemies and knocks them up in the air, and it really disrupts the rest of the team. So you're gonna wanna use this ability, and like I said, stay tuned, because we're gonna be going over how you're gonna combo all these things together and just completely blow people up. Next up is Cellular Corrosion. That is Venom's right click. So with this ability, he shoots these tentacles out of his back, and it attaches to everybody nearby, okay? Not only does it slow them down, but at the end of it, it pops and does a big burst of damage, which is great. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna pop this thing once you dive in there and do some initial damage, then you're gonna chase people down, especially their healers or duelists who are trying to dive in on your backline. Once you start getting the rhythm down of the web slinging, you're gonna see that you can really dive down at like a low distance. So you just basically pop your swing and you instantly hit your F, and you're gonna go down there, crash into them, and then pop your Cellular Corrosion, and you're gonna chase people down. So next up is Venom's Space, which they call Alien Biology, and it allows you to crawl up walls similar to Spider-Man. And if you hold down your attack button, you can run on these walls. And make sure you stick around for a second, because I'm gonna tell you about these settings that you need to use that I wish I knew about sooner, okay? So now let's go over Venom's ultimate, the Feast of the Abyss. So basically, you go underground and you create this big old AoE, similar to Jeff, and then you take this huge chomp out of them, and you do more damage the lower they are in health. What's awesome about this ability is it's another tanky boy ability, because you generate equivalent bonus health when you do that chomp. So once you come out of it, you'll have some extra health to stay in their attack. You can pop your right click, chasing people down, because you will have some bonus health. So real quick, let's go over Venom's team up ability. This works with Peter Parker and Penny Parker. So they are primarily going to get the benefit of this ability because they shoot out these like Venom symbiote spikes and they do a bunch of damage and they push people back. So now let's go over some tips and tricks. And like I said, like I promised you, we're gonna start by going over some Venom specific settings. All right, so you click on settings, you're gonna go to keyboard. If you're playing on console, I'm not sure how much different this looks, but it should be pretty similar. All right, so you're gonna go to all heroes and you need to select Venom. By the way, if you like playing Spider-Man 2, a lot of these settings you could change as well. So as you're gonna see hold to wall crawl, hold to run on walls, directional wall crawling, hold to swing, easy swing, yada, yada, yada. All right, the one setting that I wish I knew about earlier, and I can't remember which creator mentioned it, and I apologize if you're somewhere out there, but I'm sure a lot of people knew about this, but you're gonna go to directional wall crawling, okay? By default, it is at advanced towards crosshair. And this is so unintuitive, it blows my mind that this is the default setting. What you're gonna wanna do is advance vertically upwards. Basically, when you're crawling on a wall, once you change this, when you're crawling on the wall, it will be very intuitive. So when you're hitting WASD, Venom will turn in those directions. Before, it was like you had no idea where you were running. So please, please, please mess around with this setting and see if it feels better, all right? I have had people ask me like, hey, do you think you should turn easy swing off? So here are my personal thoughts on it, and I'm sure it's different for other people, but this is just my opinion, okay? So those of you who don't know, with easy swing on, basically when you hit your Venom swing, he will just attach it to whatever is available, all right? So if there's a ceiling, a wall, whatever that it can attach to, it will just find one and it will do it, all right? If you turn it off, it will go where you click. So I would have to point directly at the wall or whatever that I want to use it on, and then I will swing. Now, for Spider-Man, I do think it is beneficial to turn this setting off, all right? Spider-Man does need to zip in and out, and it's a lot easier when you can like zip towards the ground, get in there and hit people. But the reason I think this isn't as beneficial for Venom is because he already has an ability where you can dive in on people. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know if you think I'm missing something, but I don't think you should turn easy swing off with Venom. Personally, like if Jeff is trying to throw me off a ledge or something like that, if I'm lucky enough that he doesn't suicide off, I can just, you know, just hit it, just aim in the general direction of a wall somewhere in my panic and just like zip back in. But like I said, I don't think it's a big deal because Venom already has a dive, all right? And feel free to mess around with the hold to crawl, hold to run on wall settings. I personally just leave them as default, but the main one is the direction of wall crawling. So now, Venom's role, his playstyle, you are primarily there to get objectives, all right? Venom is great at helping out with objectives. Whether it is capture the point, whether it is a payload map, you're going to be swinging in and out of places and diving in there. So he can come in and initiate fights. If people are like pushing a payload or they're holding a point, he can go in there and disrupt them. And while everybody is panicking because you just dove in there, the rest of your team can be firing. And hopefully, you have some amazing strategists on your team who are going to heal you while you're diving in there, okay? But like I said, Venom is pretty tanky, especially with his symbiotic resilience. So you can stay in there and you can survive. And remember, like your healers, they might be preoccupied, all right? You can't always rely on the healers. Sometimes you're gonna get in there, you're gonna have to pop your resilience, all right? And then get out, find a health pack, get back in there. Or what I like to do, I will swing back and I will just land right at the feet of one of my healers so they see me, that I'm low health. I use my microphone. If you're new here, I recommend that you get a microphone. It is very, very helpful in team-based games, all right? But your primary purpose is to help out with objectives and be on the front line. You are there, you're like a lineman. You are there to just soak up the damage so your other players can do their damage to the rest of the team and your healers can get their heal on, all right? So make sure that you are staying in front, staying on those objectives and doing what you gotta do. So aside from objectives, your next responsibility is to dive in on those back lines, all right? Because typically the strategists are back there, they are healing, and you wanna get back there every now and then and disrupt them, all right? A lot of times you're gonna get kills, but even if you don't get kills, I cannot express to you how valuable it is to simply keep them busy. When you dive in on like a Jeff or a Mantis or, you know, like a Luna Snow or whatever, While they're worrying about surviving, they cannot be healing their team. They are too busy healing themselves and trying to figure out how to avoid you killing them. So just going in there and messing with them and just even having the threat of you diving in at any moment is going to disrupt their playstyle a bit. All right, so this next part, I need you to write it down. If you are going to take up the mantle and play you some Venom, you need to write down the combo, all right? You ready? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna Venom swing in, all right? You're gonna swing up over the enemy team and you're gonna hit F and you're gonna dive bomb down. Then you're gonna hit your right click. You're gonna pop out your tentacles. You're gonna slow people down. You're gonna chase somebody down, just attacking them as much as possible because they're going to be getting that last burst of damage. Typically your attack is gonna get them low enough where they might even die from when your tentacles explode. By now, everybody's focusing you. You're gonna be getting low health. Then you pop your resilience and you swing out of there. And basically you're gonna rinse and repeat this over and over and over again throughout the match. You're gonna swing, dive, tentacle, hit your resilience, swing out, attack people, do what you gotta do. This is the combo and it makes him so fun. Like I said, he has a lot more mobility than people give him credit for, so you can get in and out of there like a big old symbiotic ninja. The last tip I'm gonna give you is something that I personally like to call the Venom bomb, okay? So what I like to do if we're like holding a point or something like that, or the other enemy team is like pushing on us, what I like to do is crawl up on a wall and just sit there, usually over like a doorway or an entrance, and I just sit there. The other team's like, where's Venom? What's this guy doing? Is he flanking us? What's going on? But no, you are just sitting there sneakily on the wall. And once they come through, you just dive bomb on them and you disrupt their whole team. It surprises them. I personally like to say Venom bomb as I dive in over my microphone. You could do what you want to do. But this is a very fun move and I love doing it to people. I've been doing it since the beta and it still works like a charm. Okay, eventually they might catch on. So you might only be able to get a few Venom bombs off before they start turning around and looking for you on that wall. But you are still pretty tanky and you can get in there and do some damage. So as for Venom's strengths, Venom's biggest strength is just his survivability. If you've ever played against a Venom, you know how hard this guy can be to kill. He gets in there, and like I said, he has one of the highest health pools in the entire game, and then if he has his team up ability, he has even more health. But with his symbiotic resilience, you can take a lot of damage. You can be in there for a long time. This comes very useful in those like clutch situations where your team got wiped and you go in there to capture the point. You could stay alive for quite some time, allowing your team to respawn and start working their way back. Now, don't get me wrong, you can't survive forever, but Venom has some of the best survivability in the game, okay? One of his other biggest strengths is, like I was saying, is initiating for objectives, okay? Getting in there, disrupting the team, making them pop up, start attacking them. They're gonna scatter like cockroaches, all right? He is very good at initiation and disrupting enemies. And he does a decent amount of damage. As for his weakness, Venom's biggest weakness is that he is very susceptible to stuns, all right? You are a very big target. So if there's like a Luna Snow, if there is a Mantis, if there's a Bucky, you are in a lot of trouble if they decide to start stunning you. Because once you get in there, if they stun you for even like just like a few seconds, you won't have time to do the combo in the correct way, and they will focus you and they will take you out. So be kind of careful about this. You have to start getting a little bit sneakier and switching up your rhythm a little bit with the combo. If they are stunning you, you might want to like, you know, specifically target some of the people who can stun you because they might get so flustered that they can't hit you with a stun, but that is by far Venom's biggest weakness. But anyways, that is the complete guide for Venom. I have a ton of hours on this hero. I've been playing him since the betas and I absolutely love him. I think he's very underrated and I hope more of you pick up this amazing Vanguard character, all right? But anyways, thank you so much for watching. And before I let you go, remember, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell. And we are trying to get to 13,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That is your Christmas present to me, and it doesn't cost you a penny. How cool is that? And in return, I promise to provide you with some amazing content, okay? But anyways, that's all I got. Thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.